There are so many of you here tonight, and you don't even know that there's an oneg afterwards.
Woo, there's gonna be cookies.
It was our little secret, but now you know. 2 weeks in a row, soft launch.
Maybe the cookies will be soft.
Or maybe the cookies will be soft in the soft launch. We'll see. All right, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Oh, it's good to hear that. All right, we're going to get started. Here we go. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. 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 How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Open my eyes to truth. Open my hands to give freely. Open my lips to good words, to pure words. Open my heart to love. Open my eyes to truth. Open my hands to give freely. Open my lips to good words, to pure words. Open my heart to love. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We arrive at this Shabbat as we finish the week of Purim, a holiday whose celebration is silly and fun, but whose story has powerful lessons about inequality and discrimination. And we learn some of these lessons through the actions of two women in our story, Vashti and Esther. We can hold up Vashti as an independent woman who says no. And we can hold up Esther as a woman who initially hides her true identity, but then bravely chooses to reveal it in order to save her people. This Shabbat, we add another woman to the list, Judith Kaplan. 100 years ago today, March 18th, 1922, Judith Kaplan became bat mitzvah at the Society for Advancement of Judaism in New York City, becoming the first American celebration of a bat mitzvah. The service that Judith Kaplan led did not parallel what the boys did then, and it took a while to achieve that parity. But her service that day was one step in a long line of steps that allows Cantor Thomas and me to stand before you as clergy this Shabbat. So we enter this Shabbat with gratitude for the people who came before us and tread new paths upon which we now walk. We welcome Shabbat with candle lighting.
And if you are joining us via live stream from home tonight, get your candles ready. Here we go, if you haven't lit them already. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. There's one for you. We mark this time as sacred with the words of Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon inchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila lemikrai kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikohamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
We've already shared one Shehechianu moment, one first that happened, but it was 100 years ago. And now we want to invite you to share with us firsts or good things that have happened to you in the last week. Communities often come together in times when we need each other's support, but we also can come together to celebrate good things. So if you've had something happen to you in the last week or since you were last with us for Shabbat, we invite you to raise your hand and tell us so that we can celebrate those things as a community. Yes? Well, welcome back. Other good things? Yes. Okay, wait, you have to say it one more time. The band. Oh, so nice. All right, so the middle school band played for the elementary school to get them excited about band. I played saxophone many years ago, so I support that. Anybody else? Yes? You got a new car. Definitely a Shehechianu moment. Wonderful. Bob? Excellent. That's nice. We got bat mitzvahs bookending the pandemic there. Lovely. Anybody else? All right. Well, we offer Shechianu, thanking God for enabling us to reach this moment and also to be able to reach this moment to celebrate with one another.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh
This week's Torah portion is Parshat Tzav in the book of Leviticus, the second of two Torah portions that describe the different types of sacrifices that made up the sacrificial system in ancient Israel. In a discussion of this week's Torah portion, Rabbi Nancy Fuchs-Kreimer comments that women are the inheritors of at least part of that sacrificial system. After the temple's destruction, the ancient rabbis replaced the sacrificial rites in two ways: in the synagogue through prayer and study, and at home through the laws and rituals surrounding food. Concerning food, the Talmud compares the dinner table to the sacrificial altar. We wash our hands in preparation for gathering around it, and we offer blessings of thanksgiving to God. Women, Rabbi Kreimer points out, are traditionally in charge of the domestic sphere, and therefore the symbolic priests officiating at the table representing the altar. In her description of the spiritual power imbued in a home, however, she cautions that she is not suggesting that women should be satisfied with the home and shouldn't insist on equal access to leadership in the spheres of study and prayer. But, she says, we would do well to widen our gaze beyond the so-called higher things to recall the power of the home. So on this anniversary of the first bat mitzvah, we celebrate the right of women to be called to the bima. At the same time, each of us, not just the women, can hear Rabbi Kreimer's challenge to seek out where we find spiritual connection, to widen our gaze, and to celebrate that we can find connection in many different places. The liturgical poem of Lecha Dodi captures one lens of connection. The mystics of Sfat who imagined crossing the fields to welcome Shabbat as a bride. As we sing their words, I invite you to get lost in the melody and to imagine the metaphorical lens that helps you sink into the magic of Shabbat.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad hishmianu el hameyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shemo tiferet ve'litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala Shabbat nekabela. Shabbat Techila Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Kevod Adonai alayich nigla lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela Shalom ateret bala gam besimcha uvitzola toch emunei am segula boi chala lecha dodi likrat
invite you to lean in to the word open in our next melodies, inviting ourselves to be open to God, to connection, to Shabbat, and inviting God to be open to us.
Open my eyes to truth, open my hands to give freely, open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Open my eyes to truth, open my hands to give freely, open my lips to good words, to and we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvchol nafshecha uvchol me'odecha. Ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha. Vishinantam levanecha, vidibarta bam, bishivtecha, bivetecha, uvlechtecha vaderech, uvshochbecha, uvkumecha, ukshartam leod al yadecha, vehayu letotafot bein einecha, uchtavtam, al mezuzot beitecha uvishearecha lema antizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
When the Israelites left Egypt, they were refugees, fleeing danger, uncertain of their future. This year, when I read a poem by Merle Feld, the Israelites were replaced in my imagination by Ukrainian families fleeing the war. It's entitled Leaving Egypt. The night is so dark, and I am afraid. I see nothing, smell nothing. The only reality, I'm holding my mother's hand. And as we walk, I hear the sounds of a multitude in motion. In front, behind, all around, a multitude in motion. I have no thought of tomorrow. Now, in the darkness, there is only motion and my mother's hand. I pray that soon the refugees of today will be able to sing with joy as did the Israelites at the shores of the sea.
Yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha שלחותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלי ענו ואמרו, זה אלי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי יאי לי לי יאי לי 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 יאי לי לי ונאמר כי ודע אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
The translation of Vishamru starts, "The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time." Throughout the ages. It's hard to imagine how Queen Esther celebrated Shabbat. The rabbis like to claim that she kept every commandment while living in the palace and was perfectly pure. So perhaps her Shabbat was one full of rest and prayer and family, but maybe not. Maybe she had to find her own way to find Shabbat in the palace. Each generation we have to find the Shabbat that is meaningful for us, the Shabbat that reaches into us and makes us rest. With Vishamru, we are reminded that we're part of this long chain of celebrating Shabbat, even if it looks different as we go through those ages. So as we sing Vishamru, we think about how it is that we find meaning in Shabbat. We'll sing Vishamru, and then we'll continue with the Amidah.
V'shamiru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot Umevi Geula Livnei V'nehem Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayei HaKol Atah Rav Le'Hoshia Mashiv HaRuach Umorid HaGashem Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim Somech Nofelim Verofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayei Memunato Lishenei Afar Micha Mocha Baal Gevurot Umido Melach Melech Memit Umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua Veneman Atah L'Chayot HaKol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei HaKol Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh U'Kadoshim B'chol Yom Yehalelucha Selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
You may be seated. As I mentioned at the start of the service, this week's Torah portion lists the different types of sacrifices and is in fact the second Torah portion that does exactly that. Each sacrifice is for a different purpose. There are different guidelines of what to offer, how to offer it, and who would partake of the meat. But there is one that stands out, the Zevach Shlamim, often translated as the sacrifice of well-being. But you can hear in its name, Zevach Shlamim, the Shlamim, you can hear Shalom. So we could also call it an offering of peace, a peace offering. Commentators suggest that its purpose was to express gratitude for the peace one is already experiencing as a result of a relationship with God, or that it's a way to seek that peace and solace through an acknowledgement of one's desire to be in relationship with God. Commentators also suggest, though, that the very nature of the giving of the sacrifice helps establish peace. Its meat was shared between God, the priests, and the offerers. There was also a requirement to finish it within a given amount of time, such a short amount of time that it would necessitate inviting other people over to share in the eating, forcing people to share their bounty. So somewhere in this ancient ritual that seems irrelevant, and I am very glad does not happen on this table right here, there's a message about peace, that peace comes through sharing, and that a peace offering is one that provides something for all. We pray for peace with Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam V'tov be'einecha levarech et amecha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Baruch atah Adonai Amivarech et Amo Yisrael HaShalom. We take time for silent prayer. We take time now, as we always do, to pray for healing to pray for blessing, for light, for wholeness, and for well-being. Take just a moment now to bring to heart and to mind those in your circle of family and friends who are in need of healing. Whether that healing be of mind, body, spirit, healing of relationship, healing of the self, healing of the relationship with someone else. Call them to mind and hold them there for just a moment. And let's take another moment for our community more broadly and for our very broken world. And for this moment, focus on those who maybe you don't know their name, maybe you don't know them personally, but for whom you pray just as fervently that they may know healing and wholeness, that their community may know healing and wholeness, their country. And hold them in your heart. If you have someone whose name you'd like to share out loud for healing tonight, I invite you to do so now. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei HaCholim, blessed are you, Adonai, who brings healing and wholeness. We join together in the words of Misha Berach. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBeracha the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. As we turn toward Aleinu L'Shabeach, and this is the alternate version of Aleinu that we've now offered maybe 4 times, I'd say, in the last few months, so just so you have a heads up. As we turn towards Aleinu L'Shabeach, our prayer for a world that is whole and complete, we ask first for the help to open our hands, our hearts, and our eyes to all of the work that is ours to transform the world that is into the world that ought to be. Please rise. Open my eyes to truth, open my hands to give freely, open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. Oh, may all created in your image become one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet be fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. Al ken nekaveh lecha, Adonai Eloheinu, lirot mehera, b'tiferet uzecha, letaken olam, b'malchut Shaddai, letaken olam, b'malchut Shaddai, va'anachnu koreim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamelachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Please be seated. There are stars up above, so far away, yet we can still see their light long after they're gone. We remember those individuals whose lives brought us light and whose days paved the way for each one of us to continue living, to continue dreaming, and to continue to build this world. We remember them, those who our community is mourning in the past, who have died in the past 30 days, and those who have died at this time in years past. During the period of Shloshim, we remember Joshua Emil Blyer, Robert J. Gentile, Mona A. Lieberman, Anne MacDonald, Joel Sheldon Rudick, and Thomas Ryan. And at their yahrzeit, the anniversary of their death, we recall Florence Abel, Blanche Arno Biner, Ruth Gisela Asher, Leonard Bilowitz, Anne Bennett, Tamar Ben-Simone, Eva Berkowitz, Ulysses Bifoni, Melvin Birnbaum, Frank Boxt, Annette Breitbart, Errol Cohen, Sidney Sid Kojak, Cecile Cowan, Judy Seisner, Hy Diamond, Harriet Dolin, Walter Finkelstein, Fanny Frank, Frank P. Gentile, Dinah Ginsburg, Paul J. Glazer, Joseph Goldberg, Evelyn Golder, Maxwell Goldsmith, Alwyn Goldstein, Edith Greenberg, Max Greenfield, Solomon Gross, Archie Grossman, George A. Herkert, Fred Hunt, Helen Hyman, Sherman Jacobson, Doris Michaelov Cantor, Ron Kaplan, Scott Katowitz, Irving Katz, Harold B. Krusch, Jack Lash, Murray Jack Lavitan, Leah Richter Levin, Alan Luger, Albert and Bessie Mann,
Margit Mendel, Solitaire Metheny, Shirley Perlman Mittler, Victoria Niego Leon, Mayera Oberndorf, Bess Oppenheimer, Norma Pass, Pearl, Louis Rabinovitz, Ernie Radbill, Samuel Resnick, James Rice, Ted Rinderman, Lorenzo Reich, Seymour Romanoff, Renee Chirac, Louis Schwartz, Samuel Schwartz, Randall Allen Sherman, Ida Signer, Hector Smilowitz, Sam Stein, Lenora Stein, Charles Stein, Benjamin Wernikoff, George Winger, Catherine H. Winters, Martin Witt, and Isaac Zubrak. May all of their memories be a blessing. We remember them alongside those who died in the Holocaust, those American service people who died in defense of our country, those who have died in conflict in the state of Israel. And we are particularly cognizant of those who have died in the current conflict between Ukraine and Russia. May each of their names be a blessing to us and to all who cherished them. We rise as one community for the words of Mourner's Kaddish, page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyamechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam ulamei amaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudsha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, alenu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, alenu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen.
You may be seated. A few announcements before we conclude this evening. The first is that Shalom Green and Temple Beth El community are working in the community garden this Sunday beginning at 9 a.m. It is a great day for Temple Beth El to partner with the larger Shalom Green group to help out in the community garden, and perfect timing for religious school families to drop off their kids and help in the garden. There are some people here who may not go because they work for me and teach on Sunday morning, so don't listen to this announcement. We also want to let you know that Brotherhood also on Sunday. If you're not in the garden, you can come for a Brotherhood breakfast on anti-Semitism, identifying and responding to a growing threat, featuring Tali Dippold and Donna Tarney from the Stan Greenspon Center. We encourage you to come and listen to their presentation. Coming up April 1st and 2nd is our first Israel Scholar in Residence weekend, featuring Dr. Ken Stein, who is a professor at Emory and the founder of the Center for Israel Education, that I and some of our other religious school teachers have gone to their wonderful week-long trainings for really infusing Israel into our programming. He is extremely knowledgeable and is going to be doing 3 presentations over the weekend, so we encourage you to look on our website for information about his topics as well as all the other information we've shared.
And we conclude with a nigun, a melody without words, and if you missed it at the beginning, there's totally an oneg in the social hall.
Cookies are back.
Yai, la, 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 la.
Shabbat Shalom.